So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining today's webinar. I'm Kristen Hell from our Global Retail Industry team at SAP, and I'm very excited about our topic around merchandising excellence today. And it's no surprise, AI, machine learning, predictive analytics have been a very hot topic in retail. And what we wanted to do today is maybe pivot a little bit and talk about how predictive analytics and trends in AI are really influencing merchandising processes. And I'm very excited today because the merchandising process we're going to dive deeper into is assortment planning. And we've got several colleagues from our retail partner at Axfood, one of our implementation partners, RetailSolutions. And our speakers today are really going to highlight how they have woven customer centricity, insights from data, predictive analytics into their core assortment planning processes. And certainly from an industry perspective, we've seen a lot of focus on customer centricity as a promotion planning function, as a personalization function. And what's really exciting about the project with RetailSolutions and Axfood, they were able to, in partnership with SAP, take these trends around customer centricity and use it to power how they were offering the right assortments to their customers, how they were bringing the right assortments into the right channels, whether that's the store channel, the online channel. So it's been a great partnership and a co-innovation with SAP, Axfood, and RetailSolutions. And to that end, I'd love to introduce our speakers today. First, from Axfood, we'll be joined by Lars Nordquist. Lars has a long time working with SAP ERP, a consulting background with Accenture and Centigo. He's been with Axfood since 2005, with the last 10 or 15 years on the business side. He was one of the original project members in the co-innovation project with SAP and our APL, or assortment planning co-innovation that we did. And he's really been a great colleague, contributing to different solution concepts and part of the innovation strategy that we've been working together on at SAP. And joining Lars, we'll have Anna Ime. She joined Axfood in 2013, has been responsible for the IT side of our assortment planning co-innovation project. And she has over 20 years of experience working with SAP. She's a deep industry expert on not only SAP, but really retail assortment planning, as well as supply planning processes. We'll also be joined by Ed Bullen from RetailSolutions. Based in the UK, he started with RetailSolutions in 2015, has been part of their management team since 2019. He's currently the head of the Competency Center for Customer Engagement, and really has a primary focus on SAP solutions, such as the SAP Customer Activity Repository, the SAP Promotion Management Solution, but most recently, he was very actively involved in the project to co-innovate with Axfood to deliver a new assortment planning and category management capability. He is a specialist, as I mentioned, when it comes to assortment planning and category management, and I'm excited to have him on the panel today, along with Lars and Anna. But last but not least, I'd like to turn it over to our moderator for the session, Scott Benedict. So Scott, take it away.
I'm Scott Benedict. I'm a affiliate partner with the retail consulting firm of the McMillan Doolittle in Chicago. I'm also a member of the RetailWire Brain Trust, and I'm happy to be your host and moderator today.
So thanks so much to all of our panelists and speakers today. And with that, I think we're going to jump right in. So I'm going to turn it over to Anna from Axfood to give us a little bit of background on the company and the co-innovation project.
So I'm about to do a bit of an introduction of Axfood and who we are. So we're the second largest food retailer in Sweden, and we're a house of brands, as you can see here. We're covering the whole spectra from soft discount to traditional grocery, with both large stores and mini marts, and also hypermarket. And we have our own stores as well as franchise stores. We also run a B&B B2B operation, and we service external customers, and we have 5 online brands. We reach approximately 4.5 million customers a week, and that's in a country of 10 million people. So supporting all this, we have our joint purchasing and logistics company called Dagab. And they are also the ones that do the assortment planning for the entire organization. So it's carried out for all the banners collectively.
And so, just to complete the story, a bit about Retail Solutions. We're an SAP Gold status partner, so we only do SAP and we only work in the retail industry. We specialize in grocery, convenience, general merchandising, DIY, and specialty retailing industry verticals. And we're now the leading SAP retail partner in Europe. We were established in 2005, and we've seen constant and significant growth ever since. We now have over 320 consultants based in the UK, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, and we've completed over 100 projects across Europe. Some of the services that we offer are enterprise architecture services in and around the SAP and the retail industry, SAP S/4HANA, retail road mapping and program planning services, and retail transformation and implementation services, project management, development, and post-go-live production and support, as well as some productized add-on solutions in SAP Retail as well. And we've had the pleasure of working together with Axfood on this and several other initiatives, which is why I'm here today.
Well, from a business point of view, the APL solution is driving customer satisfaction. Decisions. Considering the amount of decisions needed for 10,000 assortments and over 80,000 SKUs over all the retail chains banners, data-driven decisions are really needed. Before, decisions were based on historical information and experience more, whereas APL gives the possibility to be data-driven in your decisions to a desired extent. The dotted lines shows the sort of flexibility of APL, where you want to be. You can, for example, plan many assortment at once. You can use new tools for decision making, rankings, similarities, business rules, recommendations, and so on. And you can also put customer centricity into the decisions. Assortment in stores, that's really the key thing. To serve customers better and in the same time being more profitable, the store assortments need to be more unique. We are going from generic before to more unique with APL. We need to be able to have more assortments per product group to better suit the customer needs in stores. We also evaluate the assortments more based on the role of the assortments. The interaction with space have increased. Assortment and space share information and can optimize better together. The communication between the space department and the category managers is also more efficient. Then transparency in the assortment revision process. Assortment information is the backbone of a grocery retailer, typically. And the flow of information needs to be streamlined, but also available in the right format to each user group. Category managers, retail chain, banner roles, supply chain roles, etc., which APL provides by adding desirable reports. All revision data is integrated and can be shared throughout the organization. Integrated clustering also provides better decision support and performance follow-up as well of the clusters.
Great. So let me try to bring this to life a little bit by describing the assortment process flow at Axfood, and by doing so, showing what APL consists of. So starting from the left-hand side, there's really two key parts in APL, and the first part is location clustering, and that's the bundle of stores into separate units, and that shares the same buying pattern for a product category. So this is done before you actually start planning the products, and it's done at a less frequent interval than the article product planning. So here I'm going to describe the second big part, and that's the actual article, as we call it, or product planning. So just let me make you aware of the little icons down at the left-hand side. So where there's a robot, there's some kind of automation part of this, and the SAP logo describes that it is actually an SAP APL standard functionality or an extension point, and the Axfood logo shows that it's something that we built ourselves. So since I'm describing the process at Axfood. So where we start in the assortment planning is that the vendor or the supplier notifies articles into our vendor portal. So this can be changes or new articles or discontinued articles. And the category manager then says, okay, yeah, fine, I have received your notification. And if there's new articles, they will be automatically created into our ERP system, and they are moved on to our APL solution, and then the Axfood part that we where we then prepare the articles a little bit more. We add more information to them, master data like key attributes and measurements and reference articles that are then needed to do the evaluation of the articles. So the next part is where the assortment planning is happening. So the real heart of the solution. So here the assortments are revised, and the category manager have all the data that they need at the tip of their fingers. So for instance, they have the KPIs needed for to do the analysis. So you get POS data and Nielsen data in the standard solution. And we've chosen at Axfood to take in our own customer-centric data to be able to do a better analysis, and also purchasing data. So then over to the assortment planning, which is a core functionality and the other key part in the solution. And that's where the assortments are revised. There, the category managers have all the information they need to do the best analysis and best decisions that they can. So they have KPIs for analysis, they have POS data and Nielsen data, and we at Axfood have chosen to take in our customer-centric data based on our loyalty data that we have, and also purchasing data to do the evaluation. We have an integration with Space, so two-way integration where you can get information on if it fits in the shelves, and also a connection to the location clustering, so that we know that we're on the right track and following the profile of this cluster and assortment. And building on that, we have the analytics tools, so the building blocks really to be able to automate this. So there we have business rules and ranking keys that will make up the automatic recommendations. So here the category manager can choose to use that or do it manually. And then when the decisions are made, they are shared with the rest of the organization. So through reports, but also over to our ERP system and to the follow-on systems and processes from there.
Yeah, it can't be stressed enough how important the change journey is. It's a large part of a successful implementation in this area. The business must be on board in each step of the journey. It's a new mindset from manual evaluation of financials to an analytics-driven way of working, including, of course, financial aspects of assortment decisions, but also a range of other aspects and tools. Why wouldn't you use the wealth of information that is available in grocery? APL provides flexible functionality. Use change management to release the business value in that. That means the category manager is in control of every aspect of the solution, and functionality is requested rather than forced upon him. The desired level of data-driven decisions and automation can also be applied per category and down to individual assortments. There's a balance between the investment in defining data, ranking, business rules, etc., and the benefit of data-driven decisions. And that differs between categories, assortments, people in the organizations, etc. Try the functionality to find the value and that balance. The journey of APL, the implementation is just the beginning. Support, case building, data cleansing, embedded analytics team, continuous support to the users, and feedback of good and bad to improve over time is needed.
So, what are the key takeaways on this? So, we think that data is the foundation. So it's really a prerequisite to have good data quality, to be able to use the advanced analytics, like the attributes and measurements and so on. That needs to be reliable and correct. I mean, if the market wants blue pasta, but the system doesn't know if the pasta is blue or not, then we're none the wiser and can't make an educated decision on that. So yeah, it's really important to realize the business value if you're having a data-driven solution. The data is key. Yeah, so APL gives you the tools, but the usage decides the business value. So even if you have master data in place and together with the KPIs, that doesn't mean that you're done. It's not a plug and play solution. Every category is different, like Lars mentioned, and they need different setups, they need different attributes and KPIs. So it's important to realize that the knowledge of the category organization need to be translated into these building blocks that I mentioned to allow you to have an automatic decision process. You need to have that in place to have the targeted and tailored assortments to increase the business value. And this is driven by the willingness to adapt to new ways of working. And that brings us on to the last point here that Lars also mentioned, the ongoing change journey. Yeah, we went live a year ago, and that was, as we feel it now, that was just a starting point, not the finish of this project. It will take a long time for the organization to refine these building blocks to be used in the analysis, and also to start trusting it fully, and to gain the full benefit of the automation. So yeah, that's important to remember, that the change journey that really continues after business go live as well. But if you have that in place, then we believe that it's a flexible solution that will give you a complete toolbox for assortment planning of the future.
So Anna, you talked about how usage decides the business value, which is such a great statement and directly correlates to the importance of change management. How do you change the mindset of the team members to adapt to this new way of working, and how has the change management process continued since go live?
Well, to start with, I would like to add that we already from the beginning had a core team of business users involved in the design process together with SAP. So I think that was beneficial to already then start getting the buy-in into the new solution. So the early involvement and the continuous involvement has been key. But with regards to the change management, we've had a separate team that has fully focused on supporting the business. And in the ramp up towards the go live, we started with an assortment fair. So a bit of a different concept where the solutions were presented with the visions of how to use it in the future. And this was presented by the management. And there were booths with the information and where you can come and meet the project members to ask questions and have a little bit of a, get a greater understanding for the product. And I think the sparking the curiosity there rather than forcing it on them has been a really good element in this. And also having the management involvement, like I said, that they fully understand what the solution means and also have a complete sort of trust in that this is the right way forward. And going back to the core member that have been together with us throughout this journey, they evolved into ambassadors. So they all ran the training sessions and so on. So it sort of came from within the organization rather than from an external project. I think that was also beneficial for the buy-in from the whole organization. But it is definitely an ongoing journey. We've been live now for a year, and we're definitely not done yet with the change management journey.
Yeah, I think good change management is always a critical factor in the ultimate success or failure of IT projects. But arguably, since the business function of assortment planning is like right at the heart of what it is a retailer does, i.e. getting the right products in the right place at the right time, I think it's probably even more crucial than normal. The co-innovation with SAP to create the APL category solution is part of a wider business change journey that Axfood's on. Towards making more data-driven ranging and assortment decisions, which started a couple of years before with the establishment of a data science team to perform the customer-centric analytics. So once that data was available, there was already a strong appetite from the business for a tool that enabled them to harness that information in a kind of effective and efficient way. And I think the business was heavily involved right from the start and continues to be involved in the definition of the roadmap for new functionality. So I think it's the strong involvement of the business throughout the project that's made this a success.
It's really interesting to see how you're driving innovation with your assortment and your category management planning. What trends in your business drove you to focus in this area? Was it changing consumer preferences, perhaps more digital or online engagement? Feels like grocery used to be more focused on automated replenishment to drive inventory and assortments. So I'm interested to kind of better understand the changes that drove Axfood to incorporate more planning and insights into these processes.
It's long been an understanding that matching the customer expectations in the individual stores is important. And we used to work with the store clustering based on the type of articles that were sought for in the respective cluster. Each part of a store assortment plays an important role in the customer perception of the store and what is on offer, of course. In order to be able to cluster stores more and also supporting the category managers in deciding assortments, better and more integrated solutions were needed. Since Axfood ran a customer-centric analytics project a couple of years before APL, it became even more obvious how important the customer perception of the assortments were, and therefore the need to integrate that into assortment planning as well.
Makes sense. Kristen, let me pose a question to you. SAP works with retailers around the world who are driving innovation in merchandising. I'm curious, how does SAP see grocery retailers and others in those segments looking for these types of solutions?
Sure. And I think Anna and Lars and Ed have really described the market situation very well. What we see from a trends perspective around the world is that, grocery retailers certainly have seen a shift in how their consumers are shopping. So this idea that you can buy online and pick up in store, you can browse on your phone, you can still have a very engaging experience in the physical store, right? So what's interesting for us is assortment has become really a very important pillar in merchandising as you think about what you're carrying, how you're positioning it from a space perspective in the store, how you're using the digital space, both in your mobile app as well as your online application. As Lars was describing, all of these factors, which even a few years ago would have been more of a business rules driven process, right? Push and pull of goods into the different channels. Assortment planning, category management has become a very important pillar for how merchants can really appeal to their consumers, integrate those tastes and preferences, but then obviously still offer that kind of tailored experience based on the format, based on the placement. So the project that we did with Axfood and Retail Solutions was a really engaging, innovative journey to understand how you can pull on some of those assortment levers and really use it as a kind of marketing and personalization for your consumer.
Neat. And I want to kind of ask you, in addition to Axfood, you've helped many other retailers in different regions of the world and different retail segments with their merchandising processes. What are some of the overall themes you have taken away from these interactions, and maybe what are some of the current priorities that you see in the industry?
Yeah, I think Kristen makes some very important points around e-commerce since the advent of, and in response to competition from online retailing. More traditional, like bricks and mortar retailers, have clearly seen the need or recognized the need to have a renewed focus on driving customer engagement. And obviously, the starting point of that is to have a better understanding of who the customers are in order that you can then serve them better. You know, for example, with a better targeted assortment or with more targeted promotional messaging. So, I mean, I think most people will be familiar with the term big data. You know, we've had these massive improvements in technology in the last 10, 20 years that made it possible to gather, store, and process huge volumes of data that would have been inconceivable, you know, just a decade ago. So that enables kind of analysis that wasn't previously possible, or at least wasn't feasible. So in theory, retailers can now be a lot more scientific or data driven in their decision making. But in practice, the amount of information available to decision makers can be overwhelming. So clients need help cutting through the noise and you know and getting down to the most important factors to base their decisions on. So retailers are looking for technology to help them with that challenge. They want solutions that are going to proactively identify emerging trends and make suggestions and recommendations for them and highlight potential problems rather than passively relying on users to initiate those sorts of analyses. And of course, being armed with that information is only the first step. The accompanying challenge is then that retailers have to make use of it in an efficient manner. So having all this more detailed information, it suggests or tends to suggest a more nuanced approach to activities like assortment planning. So, for example, you know, if we've got specific data about customer demands in specific stores, then to take advantage of that, we need store specific assortments, resulting in a much higher number of assortments than previously. Category planners want to be better targeted, but they don't want to increase their workload. So automation is key. So that would be the other theme, I would say. We need systems that can perform as much of the legwork as possible and free up the users to focus on higher value add activities.
And that makes sense. And that causes me to kind of pose a question back, Anna and Lars, to you. Would this move towards more data-driven assortment planning processes? Can you talk maybe a little bit about what AI or predictive technologies that you are using within your overall process at Axfoods?
Yeah, sure. We have been using machine learning and predictive analytics in the customer-centric analytics used at Axfood. That, together with the receipt level information, are crucial parts of a foundation for some of the customer-centric KPIs that we're using in APL and elsewhere. In the store clustering, some of these KPIs are used in order to understand buying patterns, to be able to create meaningful store clusters where customers have similar expectations on the products. Axfood is also using AI and machine learning in other areas, and we are looking at the possibility to integrate some of that in APL in order to better predict sales for non-listed products. I think APL and CAR offer us a flexible platform where data and other solutions can be plugged in, including AI and other analytics, in addition to the built-in analytics in APL.
Neat. And Anna, I think you mentioned in your comments earlier that going live is really just the beginning of the process, that consumer behavior is constantly changing. And I'm kind of curious, where are you going next in terms of your efforts in category management?
Well, we're looking at a couple of possibilities in our ongoing assortment journey. So we want to increase the transparency through the organization, and by that I don't mean sort of sharing data. It's more that we want to use the analytics terminology that we've got from APL now to have a common language in the organization. So between the category organization and the different brands, so that we work towards a common goal. So we see that as an opportunity, and we also would like to tie in the negotiation into the assortment planning process. That's something we're looking into right now, starting to look into. And also, we want to include other aspects, affecting customer decisions like pricing, spacing, and promotion. And as we are an application on CAR with APL, we have got good opportunities to do that. We have the prices. We have, at least at Axfood, we're using PMR for our promotions. So we would like to sort of connect a tighter integration together with them. And also we have a good two-way integration with space. So we're in a good position there.
Kristen, what are some of the things that retailers should be looking for when choosing a vendor and a use case for AI?
I think it's a really great question, and I really appreciate our colleagues from Axfood giving their experience, because a lot of the principles that Axfood applied in their project and their implementation of assortment planning, I think really provide some best practices or food for thought for our audience. So when looking at implementing AI or implementing predictive analytics, I think the first step is to really get started. It's to not shy away from the technology. Think about different opportunities that may be available just with the analytics. So understanding your customer, understanding your sales patterns, and then start to really connect those insights from the analytics to the different business processes. So in the case of Axfood, it's a great example of using insights about customers, insights about sales patterns in those stores to apply an algorithm to cluster your locations more efficiently. Cluster your locations based on consumer preferences, based on different sales opportunities, and then continue to grow and evolve the predictive technologies as you expand the use case. I loved what Anna said about, the journey's never over. It's about change management. And I think, AI and predictive technologies really lend themselves to an iterative approach, implement, learn, take the insights, and continue to expand the use case into new opportunities. Let the insights really drive the business process and the change management or the user behavior that makes sense. So I thought their use case is a great example, not just of how to drive innovation and assortments, but a really practical way to implement machine learning, implement predictive analytics, and continue to grow and generate value and benefits from those technologies.
All right. With that, I think we're about out of time. So let me thank our panelists for their really insightful comments. This is a really exciting topic, and I'm glad we were able to pull together this collection of experts for the session today. As we look towards the landscape of the future, The integration of AI into retail strategies is not just expected, it's essential. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the retail landscape, offering unprecedented opportunities for innovation in merchandising. From predictive analytics to machine learning algorithms, AI technologies are enabling retailers to anticipate consumer trends, to optimize their product assortments, and to personalize their shopping experience like never before. This future is really about engaging customers, creating unique experiences, and sharpening your competitive edge to compete in the world of retailing in the future. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've got questions, please place them into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll come back to you with the answers as quick as we can. Thank you.